When I was 11 years old, my parents chose to divorce. I chose to live with my mom because I knew that she needed my company more than anything else. Mom is a person who loves life. She often took my 7-year-old brother and me on hikes or to the beach for a swim. One weekend, we decided to go swimming at the beach. This time Mom brought along her date. I remember he had blonde hair and strong arms, but he wasn't very tall. When we arrived at the beach, it was close to sunset. There was a nice breeze coming from the sea. There didn't seem to be any other tourists around the beach. We played some games on the beach. After a while, I decided to play in the shallows, with my mom watching us from a distance. It felt good, the water was up to my thighs and I wanted to go deeper. That's when I felt an undercurrent that pulled me into deeper water. Suddenly, I was swallowed up and I couldn't touch the bottom with my feet. I rolled round and round, as if I were trapped in a washing machine, and then hit the bottom face down. The unthinkable happened. In the blink of an eye, my entire state changed. I found myself floating above my body in a state of hyperconsciousness. I was about a floor above my body and I had a 360-degree view. I could see everything at once. But I had no shape and no color. I was like air. I looked at the body in the seawater and it was like a child's toy that could be played with or easily discarded. I couldn't remember who the people standing around the body were. I had no emotional connection to my body. It feels very easy for me now. I can't remember anything about my life on Earth at all. I can't even recall the language I spoke. I feel more alive and energized than ever before. I am free from gravity and my soul can move at will. I now have no commitments to keep and no school or work to attend. I cannot describe the feeling that being separated from these burdens has given me. It has brought me great joy. I decided to get out of here and I continued on up. I didn't see any tunnels or angels calling my soul to heaven. Nor did I see any other souls. When I was ready to leave the place, I heard my mother shouting my name. In a flash, I was back in my body. I dug my fingers into the sand and crawled blindly under the water. The water seemed to recede enough to allow my head to rise to the surface. My mother came over and helped me up. 5 minutes later, I lay on the beach and began to cry uncontrollably. That experience taught me that there is life after death is a fact of life. And it's a miracle that you never die. I made a vow to myself on that beach. If I had a choice, I would never go back into my body. This incident is just one of the stories. The second one happened during my college years. I was only 17 years old and had a full scholarship to college. I asked 2 of my classmates to go hiking with me over the weekend. We drove to Alaska. We played until late and we were ready to drive home. While driving down the mountain, we went to the bathroom halfway and then we got back in the car. I continued driving. That's the last thing I remember. I have no recollection of anything other than the near-death experience. My classmate told me later, we were in a serious car accident. I may have fallen asleep while driving. The car veered off the road and ended up going off a cliff, and the powerful inertia threw me out of the car. The first responder covered my head with a towel so that no one would look at my broken skull. I don't know if I was really dead at that point. After I left the hospital, I tried to remember what had happened that night. As you can see above, I only remember the last time I went to the bathroom before the crash. I don't remember the crash, only the darkness I experienced. It wasn't an evil darkness. I was a 17-year-old kid and didn't fall into any abyss. I didn't feel any evil. One of the most plausible explanations is that I was blinded in the accident. The doctors told my parents that I would be blind for the rest of my life and told them to make arrangements. Somehow, I can still see with my eyes. I think maybe I was not allowed to see the tunnel of light. Nor was I allowed to see my dying self. In my unconscious events, I have always felt alone because as far as I know, most people have seen the tunnel and met their dead loved ones. My experience was very different. I have never written about my unconscious events, and I have only told a few people around me. First, I felt unable to describe my experience in my limited vocabulary. Second, whenever I described my experiences, strange things happened. Either strange things happened to me, or strange things happened to the people I was telling about. This may sound a bit unbelievable, but I swear it's true.